Welcome back. Texas is home to one of the country's largest and most innovative cattle feeders. And with more than 3 decades of experience, Cactus Feeders is not letting the grass grow under its feet. The company continues to fine-tune every aspect of its operation, including how it tackles bovine respiratory disease, or BRD, as it uses a product that adds a powerful tool to its toolbox. Reporter Brian Baxter has more.
Cactus Feeders is the world's largest privately held cattle feeding company. For Cactus, there isn't just one key to its success. The feed yard relies on geographic diversity, investment in its employees, research, and a sound animal health program.
Cactus Feeders is about 35 years old. The feed yard where we are today is the original Cactus feed yard of 10 that we have today. We're now have 7 feed yards in Texas and 3 in southwest Kansas.
I would say I'm not sure that what we do is unique as much as how we go about it. And we really have about 3 legs on that stool. And the first one is just basic animal husbandry and animal welfare. You have to start there. And the respect that we expect all of our employees to have towards the cattle is a big place to start. The second thing I think that we look at is ways to improve operational efficiency. How can we get the job done every day in a timely manner with as few hours and as few people as we can, continue to take care of the cattle. And then the third piece of that is our commitment to continue to evaluate and implement new technologies.
Another thing that we have is, multiple locations scattered from the South Plains of the Panhandle to southwest Kansas. 10 different feed yards, 10 different locations. From a customer standpoint, we're able to scatter risk from one end of the Panhandle to the other. Weather risk being primarily one of the deals, corn risk, commodity price risk, different feed rations at different feed yards depending on what price is into the ration. With Cactus Feeders, we're able to facilitate many of our customers and being able to do that by spreading their cattle out across one operation or multiple feed yards that are owned by one entity.
Cactus Feeders employees also have a stake in the continued success of the operation. The company recently sold the remaining shares of its stock to its employees.
That's a milestone for us, obviously, and we think it makes us one of very few companies in all of agriculture that are 100% owned by their employees.
It changes your mindset. When you drive through the gate, whether coming in or leaving, you think, have I done what I should be doing today for myself, much less my co-owners or the customers or anyone else involved at this feed yard. Ownership, when you begin to think like an owner, it really changes how you approach your job.
Another unique part of Cactus Feeders is its large-scale research facility, which ensures customers are getting up-to-date, concrete data about new technologies and medicines.
We do contract research for pharmaceutical companies on new pharmaceuticals and even product extensions of current pharmaceuticals. And because of that, we operate a large-scale research facility within a cattle feeding operation. So it's very much a real-world research operations where we can do demonstration trials or even registration trials where the pharmaceutical company and the customers will realize that they're getting real-world data. So I think that makes this particular feed yard very unique.
Welcome back. Let's return to reporter Brian Baxter, who's learning more about BRD from an operation with more than 3 decades of experience.
One of the continuing challenges to keeping cattle comfortable and healthy is their vulnerability to bovine respiratory disease, or BRD, especially once they first arrive at the feed yard.
Cattle at highest risk are always going to be the calves that are just recently weaned prior to coming to the feed yards. Many times those are going to go through some sort of commingling. They come from many smaller herds, commingled at the order buyer facilities prior to being shipped to the feed yards. Those would be the highest risk cattle that we see. Then we also have maybe those bigger cattle that for in certain times of the year, particularly early winter, So about middle of September through the end of February, we find a proportion of those cattle that are at a much higher risk, even though these would be traditionally what we'd consider low risk, those being over 700 pounds on arrival.
The pen riders at Cactus are trained to watch newly arrived cattle for signs of BRD.
There's a lot of things I look for when I ride into a pen of high-risk cattle. I want to see how one's standing, how he moves out when I ask him to move out, if he's eating, drinking. But the main thing that I look for is in their eyes. A lot of our respiratory pneumonia cattle will have a glassy look in their eye, and that's pretty much what catches my eye, is their eye. And then I'll make that decision as far as, do I need to get him pulled, get him treated, and get him back home.
Using their in-house research, Cactus believes that Draxxin from Pfizer Animal Health has the best cost benefits for their operation when it comes to controlling BRD.
And what we have found is with Draxxin, we give the injection and we feel confident that for 10 days we have medication on board, and we can then focus on the cattle in the pens, adapting them to their new environment.
Draxxin just fits well in our operations. The post-metaphylactic interval was a little bit of a hard sell, as I'm sure it is in a lot of operations, because it goes against the culture of what our cowboys have been used to for so long. But they have seen the benefits now. And so in our operations, it's a good fit. It's a good fit for the labor force. It's a good fit for the health parameters that we have that we require on the feed yards.
It was a bit of a challenge, you know. It was something new to get used to and adjust to. It's turned out to be a really good deal for us. It's cut down the workload. The cattle, the pulls have completely dropped. Usually in high-risk cattle like that, if you get 15 or 20 of them in the first 25 days, you thought you were doing your job. But now, since this is brought in, that's dropped big time. You might have 3 or 4 pulls.
The feed yard's general manager says Draxxin makes good sense for the operation's priorities and bottom line.
The sooner that we can get these calves on feed and doing what they're here to do, produce beef, the sooner we can do that, the better. You know, if we've got, a lot of pulls and cattle in the hospitals, it makes it hard for the feed guys to get the feed put out correctly. We want to do it as quickly and efficiently as we can.
Reducing or eliminating the cattle's time in a feed yard hospital pen for BRD treatment also plays an important role in getting them adapted to their new surroundings.
These cattle are social animals. And anytime you disrupt that social environment, if you take an animal out and he has to circulate through a hospital system for a few days before he centers back around to the home pen, that disrupts the social structure within the pen.
Research and a sound animal health program gives the operation a new way to think about its approach to its future and to future demands.
So I think we'll always be here, and I think we'll always be in the protein business. And I'm confident that beef will always be on the consumer's plate. As the world grows and we have to feed more and more people, the population is going to demand high quality protein. As the lower classes in the underdeveloped countries try to move up into a middle class, they're going to want animal protein. They're going to want animal agriculture throughout the world to produce that protein for them. And there's no place in the world that can do that as efficiently as the United States.
Reporting from Cactus, Texas, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
For more information about Cactus feeders, visit cactusfeeders.com. If you'd like more information on Pfizer's products and combating BRD, just visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. Stay with